Caleb in the building. How you doing tonight, Caleb, man? Good to see you in the building tonight, bro. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So basically, I just wanted to come on here and chat with you guys tonight, man. I just want to talk about semen retention, bro. And it's really important that I bring this topic up, man, because it really is, in fact, bro, a secret weapon. This is what retention is. It's a secret weapon of man, bro. And I know most of you guys out there have, explored this avenue. I know most of you guys out there have taken the time to dive into retention. Okay, you see the benefits, all right. You see somebody like myself and plenty of other guys that are representations in the community, okay, and you seeing what we've done. You seeing our glow up, you seeing the transformation, bro, okay, from average person, bro, to now, okay, this man who has got it together. Okay, like I told you, it makes you a complete man, bro, which makes it a super weapon that we need to talk about, especially in the modern day like today, man. Okay, we already know society, bro, is full of depleted coomers. We all know that society, bro, is pushing this corn down our throats 24/7. Okay, this is why so many men are addicted, bro, out here in the modern day. Okay, they fail to realize on the strength, the inner strength that they can conjure up just by retaining this powerful fluid. Okay, I want to tell you guys something, man. I really feel like this is the most hidden secret weapon of man. Okay, we're talking about something that can come out here and neutralize all the modern day traps that have been set up for us men. Okay, when I tell you that this keeps you out of the scene, okay, it keeps you on your own lonely journey, bro. Okay, where you actually get to go around, man, and you truly get to see from a higher aspect of life. Okay, no wonder why the people at the very top who have this information, okay, want to keep this on the hush because as I'm telling you guys, all right, this is something that can really catapult a man, okay, into success, okay? It totally rounds your aura, okay? I'm talking about anything that you would have had that would have kept you low vibrational and low frequency. Seam retention is one of those practices that is going to come through, okay? And it's going to totally rearrange everything that you had going on previously. Okay. This type of energy, guys, is a leadership energy. Okay. When I tell you, if you're not ready to fall into the role of a leader, okay, then I wouldn't suggest doing something like semen retention. Okay. Because as I said, it's going to take all of your negative attributes and it's going to turn them into positive ones. Okay. It's going to give you the charisma. It's going to give you the confidence. It's going to give you the intelligence. It's going to give you the know, okay, of just about everything that you read or retain. Okay. It's a powerful tool that empowers the user, okay, whoever puts this into practice, all right, into their highest version. Okay. I'm talking about you walk around, you feel good every day, okay? And for that reason, your mind's always, coming up with these good thoughts. You're always coming up with all this, good consistent behavior, all right? And this has a lot of success, in an average man's life, okay? Once where he was pulled down, he was held down, he was held back, bro, okay? By all of these traps, I know because I was there at one time, okay? I was there at one time. And let me tell you guys something. I still go around every day and I see this affecting tons of people. Okay. I see this literally have people in a death grip, bro. Okay. So many people out here, all right, full of stress. Okay. Let's keep the facts. We know what's going on in 2025. We've talked about it in plenty of previous streams. Okay. And we understand on what we're going through. We understand that this is a spiritual war. We understand that we have all these different attacks that are, affecting the way that we feel. Okay. And we know that the way that we feel dictates on the things that we do real life in our real life, right? We know this, okay? So this is why I'm saying something like the practice of retention, okay, has an ability to go in there and really put out the fire, okay, of anything that was once burning out of control, okay? Most of us out here have been, stimulated since we were younger, okay, to thrive from that lower red chakra, all right? And this has been one of the main key contributors, all right, that has kept us from being our greatest version. Okay. But now that we've found this tool, we found this weapon, we found this sword. Okay. We found this powerful, powerful energy. Okay. That we all have, man. All right. And we've learned to how to wield it. We've learned how to cultivate it. We've learned how to take this energy, bro, and put it to our highest purpose. Okay. And what we're seeing here is we're seeing a lot of growth, especially in our community. I've been in this community for, this is going on my 7th year. I've been in the semen retention community. Okay. And I see a lot of people who are taking this journey seriously. Okay. And I just want you guys to know, even if these people that are out there practicing that have SR in their mouth, even if they are not going on the serious journey like most of us, the simple fact that they are talking about this and they are practicing this, even though, they might not, take it to the furthest extent, shows you, okay, the gradual, all right, the gradual rise of consciousness, okay, here in our world. And this is one of the things that's going to notify us and let us know, all right, that this is the way that mankind is moving, okay, instead of combat, the world and its frustrations, okay, instead of meeting it at its level, instead of playing its game, okay, instead of letting it drain your energy, okay, what we've decided to do is retain all of that, okay, we decide to transmute this energy. We've decided to take this energy, man, all right, and really go the mile with it, okay, seeing what it can really do, okay. We're still out here learning, we're still out here in the midst, okay, of being, the so-called forefathers of this movement. And there's a lot of things that we have yet to discover. Okay. We might have talked about all the big main points of the practice, but I'm telling you guys that there's so many little nuances that I pick up every single day on my SR journey. And I'm just here to tell you guys, man. I'm just here to tell you guys. I'm here to prove it to you guys that if it can do something to somebody like me, if it could totally change my life, I've told you guys how I used to be previously. I told you on what I've now coming into in my highest version. Okay. And it's a complete 180 from the person that I used to be. And this is how I know that this is one of these weapons, man. Okay. This is one of these powerful weapons. All right, that can literally go in and change anybody's life. Okay. And this is why I push it. Okay. It only makes sense. At the end of the day, we're smart, logical men. All right. We see what's going on out here. We see what's going on in our society. We understand the traps that are being put before us on the daily. Okay. We see on how we have, this rapid, increase of male self pleasure because of all the stress that is going on, because of, all the battle of the sexes. Okay. All of the control of the money. Okay. That has kept a lot of people being able to not be into intimate relationships with significant others. Okay. And what this has done is cause a lot of frustration. Okay. This has caused a lot of men out here, okay, who are not getting equal opportunities, all right, to explore their God-given, ability and right that they were born into. Okay. And for that fact, this is why I'm trying to tell you guys that we need to start using our brain and start thinking logically and start being, better examples, okay, of mature men in this society by combating, okay, all of this negative energy with positive energy. And retention is, in fact, that, okay. When something like retention, something that is, so good for you, okay, which the opposite use of it, can become highly negative, okay, it could lead you into addictions, okay, it could lead you into malnutrition, okay, it could lead you down a windy road where you end up doing things, okay, that you normally wouldn't do if you had this energy in play. And this is why I'm telling you guys, this is why I'm so passionate about my SR journey. This is why, I come on here, and tell you straight from my heart the way it is, okay? Because, like I said, it's done all this and more to me, okay? It has completely changed my outlook on life. Okay. It has completely changed the way my mindset, now works. Okay. I'm 100% sharper. Okay. I know how to put things in order. I know how to get my life back in order. Okay. And this is one of the most saving graces that I could have ever fallen upon in my life, especially going into 2025, knowing all the stuff that we have as risk, okay, as men, okay. We understand that, there's an infertility crisis. We understand, okay, that there's a lonely epidemic going on between the men and the women. We understand that they got the S and the T and the D's out here. We understand, bro, okay, what we have in front of us, okay? Why not take the opportunity? Why not take the opportunity just like we did during Colgate 19, okay? When we had all this time to ourselves, we had a time to reflect on the things that were going on in our life. And this is what SR does, okay? It gives you time to reflect on your life. It shows you the negative pockets that you can correct, okay? And then it finally tunes you to be the best and the greatest version that you can be. This is why I will do this for the rest of my life. This is why I will continue to tell, people out there, all right, the benefits that they can receive from this practice. Okay. It's one of the most miraculous things that I've ever done. Okay. And I'm going to continue, okay, to walk my journey. I'm going to continue to try to evolve to my highest abilities. Okay. And while all of this is going on, it just gives me a front view, okay? It gives me a front row seat to what the world is going through, okay? The world is going through like a lot of identity problems. The world is going through, okay, a lot of healing and change, okay? And we're out there ahead of the curve on retention, okay? This is why it is so paramount, okay? This is why you must be practicing this in 2025 as a man, because like I said, there is nothing greater that you could do for yourself. There is no other better investment that you could do for yourself, that you're going to come out on the other end, okay, ahead of the game. Okay. SR is the game. Okay. Even if you are in a so-called relationship, even if you, okay, are out there and you're single, okay, this is what you need to be doing. These are the things that are going to greatly enhance, okay, your mind during a time like this where we're going to have to be a lot more creative, okay, in the modern world, to be able to come out here, okay, and to be able to create resources, okay, to be able to create different avenues and paths, okay, to success, okay. This is our opportunity to shine. While the rest of the people and the rest of the world are out there, okay, failing to explore the higher side of themselves, okay, failing to tap in, okay, into the other 90% of the human brain that is dormant, that we have yet to tap into. We are going to be setting the example, okay? We are going to be creating the trends, okay? We are going to be the leaders of the new school. And this is what I want you guys to understand. This is why this is such an amazing weapon, okay? It's such an amazing tool, okay? And it shouldn't be looked as a weapon that you could be using for negativity. This is a positive weapon, okay? This is the sword of grace, man. This is the sword on which everybody that comes into and comes in contact with, all right, has the ability, all right, to change not only themselves, but everybody else around them. Okay. And this is what I wanted to tell you guys. I just wanted to share a little bit of something that was going through my mind and let you guys know that this practice is absolutely legit and real. And I want to keep encouraging you guys to stay on your horse and focus. All right. And transmute your energy while you have time. Okay. Like I said, we are coming into some times where it's going to need some dramatic change, okay? And you have a chance, okay, to be out there ahead of the curve. You have a chance, okay, to tap into something that most of the average people in this world have no clue about, okay? Therefore, you have an opportunity, okay, to become great, okay? And this is why we are doing this practice, and this is why we have such a stellar community, because we have people in real time, different times, different streaks, okay, different paths that they've all taken, okay, for them higher selves, and we're all contributing, all right, to the greater good, okay, to the success of men who are willing to put in that discipline and that effort, okay, to improve their life. So that's all I wanted to tell you guys. I want you guys to understand on what we are dealing with here, and I want you guys to continue to keep focusing on your journey and understand that myself and the others in the community have your back. Okay, we're all walking this together. We're all out here exploring and learning new things. Okay, we're all out here adapting to the modern ways. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you from the bottom of my heart, retention is going to be the number one game changer and the game saver for the most people out there. Okay, until things go back to their regular selves, until the tempo comes back, until society, okay, decides to cool off and chill with all these different things that are going on. Okay, this is going to be the best pre-precaution, pre-measure, okay, that you can take. Okay, to protect your energy in a world of energy harvesting. So I appreciate everybody that came up in here. I'm gonna read a couple of these comments, and then your boy's about to get up out of here. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up, man. That's actually really good, bro. That's actually really, really good, bro. I'm actually, impressed with that, man. I mean, anybody that can retain in the modern world, anybody that can come out here and truly, all right, put in the discipline that it takes to make this journey and make this walk, okay, you deserve to be applauded, okay, because we understand on how tough it is out here. We understand on what's going on in the modern world, guys. Okay, this is no easy feat, okay, of SR. Okay, but as I said, you have the examples of myself and others in the community who are walking this journey, who are giving you, okay, all the insight that you need, all right, to be able to make sure your journey is a breeze. Who's that? Root Northbound. I appreciate you for being up in here tonight. He says, "Hey, Lion King, brother. Thanks for the good wisdom. I appreciate you for being in here. I appreciate you for being in the classroom, my man. Okay, that's what I'm here to do. I'm just here to teach you guys. I'm here to be the example. Okay, I'm here, to show you guys on what you can really achieve on this retention journey. Okay, it's something that I will never give up, you guys. Okay, honestly, I mean, has to be one of the best hidden secrets around, straight up. Okay, because like I said, when you're a man out there and you're stagnant in a world where creativity is the king, okay, this is going to keep you ahead of the game. All right. You're going to be able to think smarter. You're going to be able to think sharper. All right. You're going to be able to keep yourself out of trouble. Okay. Why not put this tool into work in 2025 and see what it does for you? Okay. And like I said, until things get better, okay, until the dating scene comes back, until we can just, have some more harmony between the sexes, all right, without people out here using people for money, and using people, for come ups and resources. Until we can get back to that level, okay, this is going to be the best thing for you to do. The one says the longest that he went was 5 days, bro. Listen, at that point, bro, as long as you are practicing, okay, as long as you know what it is that you have in mind for your goals, all right, those days, those numbers, okay, since you just started off, man, okay, or it's not something that you should be weighing on heavily, okay. Like I said, this is a practice that takes, okay, a lot of efforts. It's going to take a lot of time for you to dust yourself off and try again, okay. But one thing I want you to remember, okay, is no matter what happens, okay, you got to have that mindset that you're not going to give up, okay. You got to make a deal with yourself, man. Okay? You got to have that talk with yourself, all right? Because if you don't really have that talk with yourself, man, like I said, you're just going to be more susceptible into, taking, in other energies that's going to possibly knock you off your journey. Okay. So the best thing that I did, bro, okay, during those early days and those early streaks, okay, where, I was susceptible to easily, to some manipulation, all right, that would possibly take me off my journey. And I told you how I did it. I told you how I conquered it. Okay. Even those times that I got built up from the blue balls. All right. The way that I did it, man, okay, was just by saying no. Okay. The way that I did it, bro, is just by keeping strong in my mind. Okay. When those thoughts came, when those voices came, when all of that energy came and it was trying to persuade me, and all all the visuals that, the Matrix sends you on the TV and on the internet. Okay. All I did, bro, was continue to tell myself, okay, on what my goals were and with the deals that I made with myself. Okay. You got to really have that conversation, man. And if you can tap in that early around those numbered days of streaks, bro, it's going to be better for you in the end. Riley says, had a wet dream last night after 158 days. After eating some processed food and going to bed on a full stomach. Right. And we just talked about that. Okay. I told you that I kind of had the similar thing that happened to me. Okay. About a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Okay. That's one of the things that we have to avoid. Okay. If you're going to be eating something like that, like I said, I gave you guys some pretty good ideas of what you should be consuming. Okay. But fast food, processed food is a no-go. Okay. Like I said, all that activates, okay, your sexual energy centers. All right. And going to bed, like I said, where you're the most vulnerable, we have less control over your mind. Okay. Those wet dreams, okay, are going to come in, okay, and they can cause some significant damage. And let me tell you something, just because we sat here and we've chalked it up that, a wet dream, is not technically a relapse, but if you are provoking it, then it is technically a relapse, because that's going to be a common occurrence, okay, especially in your early days, okay? So don't get it misconstrued on what I'm telling you about these wet dreams. Okay. You got to be very precautious about that. Okay. You got to be very careful. Okay. Because you're just going to continue to go in that circle. You're going to continue to go in that cycle, bro. Okay. You're never going to learn, okay, on what's tripping you up. So be very, very careful. All right. When it comes down to having those wet dreams. All right, guys. I'm going to play this little clip really quick before I get out of here. Okay. And this is just basically going to piggyback off what I just said. Okay. It's going to talk about on why SR is a secret weapon. Okay. And why you should be continuing to practice it. Okay. Because like I said, it's only going to benefit you in the end, man. So let's check this video out.
Tension feeds directly into this. By conserving your life force, your body naturally begins to recycle it into vitality, strength, clarity of thought, and emotional resilience. You are literally walking around with higher energy reserves than the average man, and that surplus gets translated into a natural aura of power. People can sense it, even if they cannot explain it. Women feel it as attraction, men feel it as respect, or sometimes intimidation, and you feel it as an inner certainty that you can handle whatever life throws at you. Natural leaders are not needy. They're not desperate for approval or attention, because their energy already validates them from within. This is where semen retention is so crucial. Every time you release aimlessly, you are giving away not only your seed, but your sense of self-command. You weaken your drive, your presence, and your discipline. But when you hold it in, when you transmute that energy and let it rise, you become less dependent on external validation. That makes you unshakable, and that unshakable quality is exactly what makes people want to follow you. People crave stability, they crave guidance, and in a world full of weak men, the one who has mastered himself automatically becomes the one others look up to. That is the secret weapon most do not understand. There is also a direct link between semen retention and decision-making. Leaders are judged by their ability to make hard choices under pressure. The man who drains himself constantly will find his mind foggy, his willpower diminished, and his emotions unstable. He will hesitate, doubt himself, and crumble under stress. The man who practices retention sharpens his clarity. His brain is running on a higher octane fuel because his body is not in depletion mode, but in creation mode. He is producing more testosterone, more motivation, more drive. When he speaks, people notice the conviction in his tone. When he looks someone in the eye, they feel the certainty in his gaze. When he decides, there is no hesitation. That is the essence of leadership, and it all starts from how you manage your energy.
So there you heard it, guys. Okay, I just hit on all of those points. Okay, you see what I'm talking about as far as the secret weapon. Okay, and you can see on how a man can just be regular out here. Okay, when you're disarmed, when you're not, loaded and walking around to the gills in a world like today, in the fallen world, where you have all of these tricks and these traps. Okay, you have all of these temptations, all right, that have been put in your face every single day. You see on how important a weapon like this is to be carrying around in your front pocket. Okay, this should be your number one tool that you walk around in the modern day with. Okay, because it's going to give you the eyes to see these Jezebels. It's going to give you the eyes to see these succubus. Okay, it's going to give you eyes, all right, to say no. All right, you're going to be able to have the intuition that you need, bro, to walk around and navigate a world as radical as today. All right, and this is why it's hands down, without a question, all right, the number one tool for a man, okay, is SR. All right, and this is what I represent, and this is why I'm going to continue to give this message to you guys. So I appreciate everybody that came in here tonight. This was just a short little video, okay, but it's straight to the point. All right, it proves my point. Everything that I've said here tonight, all right, is something that I've gone through and I experienced on my very own. All right, and like I said, there's nothing that I've ever done, all right, and there's nothing that I've ever found, all right, that is giving me such a drastic turnaround, okay, as far as, fixing the things in my life, all right, and armoring me, okay, with the tools that I need to come out here, all right, to be a respected individual, okay, who operates from intelligent, okay, and knowledge and wisdom, okay, in a world like today, okay. There is nothing else that I would rather have with me. So I appreciate you guys that came in here. You guys have a good rest of the night, okay? And I will check in with you guys on the next one. I love you guys. You guys stay safe out there. Continue to protect your seed. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace, fellas.
You are now listening to TSLK Radio.
Activate the TheShavedLionKing.
You are now listening to B-Town Beats. B-Town Beats.
You are now listening to TSLK.
When you give a damn, you hold your farts in, man.